Today, I'm really excited to welcome Pritika Mehta, the co-founder of SockSoho, which is a Y Combinator company. Pritika has had a really interesting career. So as you listen to this conversation or watch it, I would love for you to focus on the various principles that Pritika thought about, some of her doubts and dilemmas that emerged at different points in time, and then trace it to SockSoho. And something that we often say on Network Capital is that passion is often discovered by repeated experiments, low risk experiments. And today's conversation is going to tell you how. So let's get started. Pritika, welcome to Network Capital. Tell us a bit about who you are and what do you do today?
Sure. Thank you, Utkarsh, for having me. Very excited to be on the podcast. So, hi guys, I'm Pritika. I am the CEO and co-founder of SockSoho.com. We are India's fastest growing fashion brand for men. Currently, we make designer socks for men. And we launched last year, and now we have more than 50,000 customers across the globe. And, in fact, some of the biggest Bollywood and Hollywood celebrities, top CEOs of the world, they wear our socks. So my background is quite different from what I'm doing currently. I'm a data scientist, and since I was 14 years old, I started coding, and I was very passionate about coding and mathematics because I just loved solving problems, and I just loved the euphoria that came with building things. So very early, I decided that I wanted to do something that could go into millions of homes. I would create something. So this is the little Pritika, when she was 14, 15 years old, wild dreams. So this is what I am. And then I pursued my career in computer science. But in the back of my mind, I've always had this, that I want to build something. I want to create something. And that led to us building SockSoho.com.
Awesome. Let's dive deeper. So you went abroad, got your master's, and then you took the corporate route. So tell us about why master's, and while you were pursuing your master's, what were some of the career aspirations you had at that time?
So I'll tell you a little, when I actually decided to pursue master's. So while I was doing my undergrad in India, I was actually I was very much interested in computer science, but I was not sure what to do next. Like, okay, you can go for a job. I took up a job in a startup. I was enjoying it, but then as everybody else, I also took CAT and other MBA exams. But as I was working in that startup, I really liked, the feeling that came with building things. And I somehow felt that maybe MBA at this point of time is not something I wanted to do. I started exploring machine learning, natural language processing myself, and I just loved it. I used to go to my work, come back home, take Andrew Ng's, who's the master's in artificial intelligence and machine learning. I used to take his courses online, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I was always so interested in mathematics. So I think that is when I decided that I want to do something more in computer science. And I want to take, I want to study more. I want to explore more because I wanted to see the world. I wanted to learn from the best. And I knew, I did something in undergrad, but there's a lot more in the world that I could learn. So that is where I decided that let me go and learn from the best people in the world. And that's how I decided to pursue my master's. And I got selected in SUNY, the State University of New York. And I did my master's in artificial intelligence under Sargo Shriyari, who's a distinguished professor in artificial intelligence. So that was my journey.
That must have been fascinating. Yeah. And while you were pursuing your master's under distinguished professors, did you get what you went for? And how did you trace your next steps immediately after master's?
So yes, I got what I wanted. I learned a lot. I think I learned a lot more than, computer science. So yes, during my master's, I also got internship in Bank of America. That was in Manhattan. And that, again, I got into the core data science team, and I really, really enjoyed it. After I completed my master's, I got a job with Tripadvisor in Boston. Again, that was an amazing company to work with. And yes, I think what I wanted, I got in terms of my career as a data scientist or a computer engineer there.
So what does a data scientist do at a company like, say, Tripadvisor or Bank of America? And how much did your masters prepare you for that?
Okay. See, when it comes to how, different companies are using data and doing analytics or machine learning over the data, it's different. So you cannot say whatever I learned over masters, everything I went and applied. No, you need to learn new things. But I would say how companies use data is different. Their needs are different. And the role of a data scientist is basically to actually see what sort of models that, firstly, what sort of data can be collected by that company, how that can be used. Building models, is not that tough, but finding the right data, getting into it into the right form is what is difficult. So you cannot just frame it, okay, this is what you do when you're a data scientist. It spans across, it's a very huge domain in itself.
So what were some of the key takeaways of your work experience in the US, internship, or your job after? And why did you decide to leave?
Okay. So key takeaways were people were really professional when it came to work. So I worked in India as well as the US. I saw there's the mindset is different when it comes to work. If somebody's coming to work, from 9 to 5, they're just working. I didn't see my colleagues on phones or doing anything else. So I learned professionalism from there. Then secondly, I saw, when you're working in India or in your own city, I see I used to think, okay, I'll build something, for North India or for India. But when you are in US, you're not building for the US. You're building wherever you will talk, they're building things for the world. So that kind of aspiration is what I learned from there, which was not there in India at that point of time. And then why I decided to leave my master's, well, my parents called my job. My parents called me crazy for taking that decision. But honestly speaking, in my heart, I always knew that my brain is not wired to do a job. I wanted to try different things, and I love the fast pace in life. I work really fast. People ask me why. It's maybe because in my mind I want to reach my destination really fast, and in my career also, my mind, my thought process is a little like that I can work day and night for next 5 years and achieve what I want rather than working for 30 years. And somehow the job was not satisfying that appetite. And in my mind, in the back of my mind, I always had that, okay, I'll work for 2 years or 3 years, gain experience, and then start something of my own. But when I started the job, somehow it was like, how does it matter? Because when I'm going to leave the job, okay, I'm going to be learning some things here at the job, but they're not really going to be helpful when I'm going to starting something of my own. And in fact, while I was pursuing my master's, while I was doing the job, I was helping some of my friends in India while they were building their startups. So I saw the kind of mindset they had and, the kind of environment they had. And I think that really fascinated me, and that is the route I wanted to take in my life as well. And I really wanted to move really, really fast in my life. And I thought, if I'm not doing it now, maybe I won't get this chance again. I'm really young. I can take risks. What happened? What happens if it doesn't go according to my plan? It doesn't matter. I'm young enough. I am educated. I'll come back and again get a job. But let me try. Chance of trying won't come again in my life. And that was my thought process of coming back.
And your parents might have been skeptical of it. How was the conversation with mom and dad?
So actually, my parents are very liberal. When they do not push me to pursue anything out of my own choice. So I think since childhood, they have given me the liberty to make my own decisions. Even, whether if I want to change my school, they have given me, whether you want to do this or not, it's always up to me. So honestly, I did not ask them whether I should move back or not. I just told them, hey, I'm coming back. So in December, I told them I am coming back in January. I've decided. And, they said, okay, what if, you look for a different job, maybe you like it. I said, no, I've considered all the options in my head. and I know nothing else is going to work out. I've made up my mind. I'll figure out things. You have to trust me. I'm coming back. So
Which year was this?
So this was, I came back in 2017. Yeah.
2017, right? So it's about 3 years, and you came back with an ambition to start something because that's what you found your true home in, true north in. And tell us about the first 100 days of coming back to India, and what were the kind of micro experiments you were conducting? Who were you speaking to? What was on your mind?
Okay, so yeah, I think we conducted a lot of different experiments, and I traveled a lot. So when I came back, Simotri Singh, who's my co-founder in SockSoho, so we are friends since undergrad, and he started his content company back then, and when I came back, so we were very close friends. So he was building mine batteries. I just plugged myself in mine batteries, and we were trying various experiments. I was also trying to figure out, okay, what is that next big thing I want to do for the next 10 years of my life? And the first 100 days, they were honestly not that easy, because I was sure I'm not going to go back to doing a job, because maybe my mind is not wired that way. First 100 days, they were tough. Some days were really tough. Even in my mind, I had this doubt, oh, did I make the right decision? Shall I go back?
Yeah.
What will I do? But then the other thought, okay, even if I go back, will I be happy? Is what, kept me, okay, no, I am going to be happier here. And the past life is not going to make me happy context. So let's try my best. So first 100 days, honestly, they went like this now when I think of them. So we were trying. I was always curious to know new things. I was always up trying new things. I was traveling a lot. So I was just trying out things, honestly. I didn't have a clear plan when I moved back.
Yeah. In between, amidst all of this, there was a TEDx. Prepare for it.
Thank you. I've heard your talk as well. That is amazing as well. Yeah. So I think opportunities, there's no fixed plan of opportunities. When will they land you? They will just land you, when you least expect them. So the stories, I was running for a meeting, which I got late because of some time difference in my Google Calendar, and I missed my bus. So this was during a TED conference only. So I missed my bus. So I got in some random bus, and there were a lot of TED attendees who were TED organizers there. And I got on the bus, and I sat next to Ajit George Matthew, who was the curator of TEDx Wilmington, and we started talking. He's like, so tell me something about yourself. I'm like, education, this and that. I was telling him a lot, what I think about how things are moving so fast, technology, how we are still so behind and everything. He's like, so it was, I think, a 10-minute ride. And at the end, we were just chatting. And he's like, hey, take my card. So why don't you apply for this, TEDx Wilmington and give a talk there? So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do that. I didn't take it seriously, to be honest. Then he wrote me an email, and that's when, I applied and got through, and that's how I was chosen to give that TEDx talk. So that was again, unexpected.
In our network capital, we often talk about luck surface area, which is the composition of do great things, tell lots of people. And sometimes, there's serendipity happens, but you have to be prepared. So you were ready, and that talk happened, and it, I'm sure, inspired lots and lots of people around the world. So congratulations for that. So 100 days are over now. The TEDx is behind you. You have an impressive resume, one bunch of work experiences. How do you take your first steps towards building your own venture? What was on your mind